These are very brief remarks. So just a few reflections on the discussions that we've had both in the formal sessions and also quite a few informal discussions during the coffee breaks and out in the hall. And I think I'll start with my second slide first. It seems there are some, as I see it, some important success factors in defining joint projects. And one which was in fact raised by my colleague, Professor Rashid, is that it's important not just to look at common subject areas, but to look at common, very specific problems of interest to both sides. So I think we all agree that issues of energy, food security, water, health, emerging diseases, etc. are important, but what are the very specific problems that are of common interest on both sides? And I think there is a risk with this project that if we don't function in that kind of way and come up with mechanisms to identify these kinds of common interests, that the project will be perceived as a kind of research colonization of Southeast Asia, and we certainly would not want that. Another important issue is that the Southeast Asian and EU research teams, I think, need to be approximately equally matched so that both teams are bringing something essential into the mix. There was one talk that I attended in the breakout session on health that I think is a good example of this, of both of these elements, and that was the talk on the chikungunya, it's new to me, chikungunya virus by Li Zeng and Dr. Pierre Bog. So I think there it was clear that both sides were bringing something quite essential into the mix, and both sides are very interested in solving this problem. Another, I think, important aspect is to understand and leverage off of the local context to see how to facilitate interest and how to facilitate participation in the FP7. And one example I'll give is Malaysia.
Fruitful discussions. Yesterday, during my opening remarks, I said, you will have noticed that this is not a pure scientific conference. Now you know how it feels if it's not a pure scientific conference. So science administration and science try to come together in a 2 days conference, and it's very, very difficult to make it interesting for all of you, all of us, permanently. And therefore, I really appreciate your patience and your discussions. Yesterday I also mentioned, I also asked you yesterday in the afternoon, I asked you for smart proposals today. And of course it's very difficult during a 2 days conference to come up at the second day with smart proposals, which we might use directly to submit to the European Commission, for example. But nevertheless, I think the discussions of yesterday afternoon and this morning give us some clear ideas how to proceed. First of all, I think that is answering the comment of Jürgen Sanders this morning about the evidence. The European Commission needs evidence to decide on, for example, new funding schemes. Came to Bogor and used our small conference as a platform for further discussions. I noticed, and I did it during the coffee breaks, as always, the coffee break, we should organize the conference around coffee breaks, because the coffee breaks are often the best time to form new collaborations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Merix.
I want to be very, very short because I really don't want to bore you with my presentation here. Actually, when we run through a very systematic work done by Ruby, by Jack, by Koyan, and we already had Professor Peter Haddawy. So I downscale myself to be a very modest and humble science administrator or cooperation promoters to share with you some of my ideas to answer the question that what to do actually to promote the CEU, Science Technology Cooperation, where I think that I can come up with some actions to go forward. So just look through the spotlights on the bi-regional cooperation. We see that we already have 30 years traditional cooperation between two regions, which shows that we already have very long traditional, foundation for.
And one thing we have not leveraged off of much is probably the biggest phenomenon in the last 5 to 10 years, which is social networking on the web. And it could be very interesting to look at leveraging off of that technology and to produce, for example, a kind of a research Facebook for at least excellent Southeast Asian researchers to help to promote them. I mean, as a researcher myself, if someone came to me and said, I'm going to help you to set up a web page that's going to showcase your research with rich media content, I would jump at the opportunity. So it could be interesting to look at.
Thank you, Peter. That's a very intriguing idea. Any other comments? Yes, please. Yes, there's a microphone over there.
Yes. Let me explain a little bit the background. My name is Prof. When agricultural food is initiated here in Indonesia with the new person who never know its history, they said, let's do that and that. And then in the whole big meeting, I said, why you pretended that there is no any cooperation yet between Indonesia and so on now? Also, I have been reviewed many proposals from Europe and Indonesia. So my point is that in Indonesia, it's a nice word. I said it bertahap, berjenjang, berkelanjutan. More or less, let's do it step by step, staging but sustainable. My point is that when I call the ministers, there is already a lot of cooperation with Southeast Asia, with Europe. Let's strengthen the existing. Let's don't pretending there is no cooperation. But of course, let's bring all these people happy to. I met many scientists here in Indonesia. It's the same, they do the same thing. They copied in Malaysia, they copied in Thailand. Why don't you go together? Because, and I know many big companies come over here. I just mentioned, I know we cooperate with a company for mobile boost with $100 million project. These people will go also to Malaysia, will go to Vietnam and say, why don't you use these people? So, most of you are scientists, we pretend there is no any activity, but there is activity. So, the Vietnam already said, they have already cooperation or cooperation. So, actually, in Indonesia, I'm a steering committee from the Ministry of Science and Technology. In I say, don't pretend that there is no cooperation. There is cooperation, and let's strengthen the existing cooperation. But bringing those people who have done a lot of things. In Kalimantan alone, many scientists doing that thing. But the question now, as the professor said, that let's identify those people who have been working in a different area in the same country and bring them together.
Well, you said that someone pretended that there is no cooperation between Europe and this region, and you say that no one should pretend this because the facts are that there is cooperation between Europe and this region. Is this understanding correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, let me outline the essence of this project, what we call CEUNet, right? The aim of this project is to get more Southeast Asian scientists into FP7. So it's not European Southeast Asian cooperation generally, it is about participation of Southeast Asian scientists into a certain European program called FP7. Okay.